sure this is all good. Okay. Okay, cool. We're set. Good evening. Good evening. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another live edition of Carolina Panthers Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the 2. I'm your host for this evening, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody's been doing well. Hope everybody's start to this new week has been going well. Good to be back on here once again. Gonna talk about things. Very open to a few things kind of buzzing with the Carolina Panthers. So far, they have signed 3 out of the 6 draft picks to their rookie contracts. So we'll talk about them. Also, we'll talk a little bit about James Bradberry, cornerback. Used to play with the Carolina Panthers for a while before being let go and going to the New York Giants. But now the New York Giants have let James Bradberry go. So now he's available. Let's see. Also, Robby Anderson changed his jersey number. And, I'm looking all over social media like Twitter and such, and I'm still hearing that the Carolina Panthers are still open. Supposedly, the door hasn't been closed on the idea of bringing in Baker Mayfield. So, is there still a chance that they may bring in Baker Mayfield even despite drafting Matt Corral? I don't know. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it tonight because I'm very curious to hear what everybody's thoughts are. And we're only just a couple of days away from the official reveal of the schedules in the NFL. So a lot of stuff to look forward to, a lot of stuff brewing, especially, we just had the NFL draft, which, Carolina Panthers had a great draft. Very pleased, very happy with the draft. But now it's time to, move forward and, make some more moves, sign our rookies to their deals and get ready for summertime. Joe Valesco, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Should the Panthers sign Jadeveon Clowney? I would love for them to bring in Jadeveon Clowney. I would be down for it, especially it gives another experienced defensive end to be able to complement having Brian Burns. Hey, Sirhan AB. What's up? Welcome to the stream. No, and no. So all 3 no's. Okay. Go get Clowney or get a middle linebacker. Thoughts on Charleston Rambo? Charleston Rambo, I've heard a little bit about him. Haven't heard a whole lot about him, but could end up being a sleeper. Could be a sleeper. But I can't say I know a whole lot about him, but I look forward to seeing him in preseason, seeing what he can do. It's another big wide receiver. 6'1", what is he? 6'1", 185 pounds. He could probably do some damage, we're gonna be looking at I would think they're going to be looking at some competition, being that, Shi Smith is pretty much out of here. If he balls in camp, Shi Smith is in trouble. Yeah, honestly, I don't even think we're going to keep Shi Smith, to be honest with you. I think he's probably done. If they keep him, I'll be pretty shocked. But I just got that feeling that he's done. You know what I mean? Not to mention he's gonna be missing part of OTAs anyway, because I think his court date is during the time of OTAs. So yeah, that's gonna be something. But yes, I would definitely entertain the idea of Jadeveon Clowney. I think that really helps on the line, and it's another one to complement Brian Burns, and you still have depth at YGM, Amare Barno, Marquise Haynes. I think that's really good depth on the ends, on the edge. Not to mention, I believe Jadeveon Clowney is a South Carolinian, if I remember correctly. So he would be pretty much home. Yeah, he's from Rock Hill, just like Stephon Gilmore. So would be nice. Would be really nice. I would totally entertain it. I'd be down. Shoot, why not? Why not? So, Carolina got 3 of their draft picks signed. Cornerback Kalon Barnes, offensive lineman Cade Mays, and Amare Barno. Those are the 3 draft picks that have signed their rookie contracts. So I'm pretty sure Matt Corral or Ikem Ekwonu will be last. And of course, we still got Brandon Smith, but I'm confident that they'll be signed very soon. But probably Matt Corral or Ikem Ekwonu will be last. One of the 2 will be last. Probably Icky. He'll probably end up maybe having the biggest impact. Either him or Corral, I feel like will probably have the biggest impact, but we'll see. But yeah, like I don't know about y'all, but rumors are Sirhan AB says rumors are Brandon Smith can't process plays fast enough. Worries? Probably some. I mean, he's coming in as a rookie. So, I mean, there's going to be some concerns. But I will say, hard hitter. I would like to see how he does in preseason. I don't really see him being a starter. Not, I don't see him being a starter. But, maybe getting him involved in some 4-3 perhaps could be possible. But I still really feel like, and I know you mentioned it earlier, I still feel like we don't really have a true middle linebacker. So I think hopefully something like that will be addressed between now and the final 53-man roster. I'm hoping. But I really don't think we have a true middle linebacker right now. I don't know. Maybe y'all see otherwise, but I just don't think we really have a true middle linebacker. YGM breakout year? I sure hope so. Is he capable of it? Absolutely. And I sure hope so. I feel like he has the potential to be a starter on the opposite edge of Brian Burns. And I think if he can stay healthy and really continue to improve, I definitely think YGM can break out. Yeah, I think we have some really great talent on those edge positions. And just, with our D-line, made some adjustments there. I think our D-line's gonna do some damage. There's a little bit of upgrades there. But I think they're gonna do some damage. And I'm hoping that it'll help make things easier for our linebacking core and also for our extremely young secondary. We have to also keep that in mind. We got an extremely young secondary. Sir Hen AB says, what free agents would you sign right now that would make the team better? Personally, I'd say get a good middle linebacker. I would have loved to have kept Stephon Gilmore, but that's not happening. But definitely linebacker, play middle linebacker. We got our return specialist. We picked up Andre Roberts, so we got a return specialist. I really, personally, I would have loved a little bit more experience in the secondary. Maybe, like I said, the idea of maybe bringing back James Bradberry really just depends on how much he'll cost. But I don't mind a young secondary, but not a too young secondary. I just feel like you got to have a nice little balance of experience on there. And Rashawn Melvin isn't necessarily what I would consider as great experience. Mamba, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I'm hoping we can get Clowney. I believe you can get anyone in the league if you pay them enough. Yeah, I would love to get him. Definitely would love to get him. I would sign Anthony Barr, Clowney, and Nick Foles. So I guess pretty much, like, if not Baker Mayfield, if not Cam, y'all are still open to the idea of bringing in a quarterback like, say, a Nick Foles or a Jimmy Garoppolo or whatnot. Well, Sir NAB's not a fan of the idea of bringing Cam back. Well, I don't know if Cam is done. I can't say that Cam is done. If Cam is done, he'd be retired. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's coming back to Carolina, but I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done. Is CJ Henderson in the slot? Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Perhaps CJ Henderson in the slot. Is that what he normally plays? Is that what he normally plays? He plays outside? I don't know. I mean, does he absolutely have no experience playing in the slot? I'm actually curious. Cam, back to Cam, says Sucks can't throw, no accuracy. Now that's a little harsh. That's a little harsh. Cam did what he could do. Like I said, I get how a lot of people feel, but it's like I stress. Whether it's Cam or anybody, you can't expect somebody to come in week 10, don't start until week 11, and expect them to flourish just like that. I think that's totally unrealistic to expect out of any quarterback, Cam, whoever. So all I'm saying is take that into consideration. Take that into consideration. Because honestly, it'd be different if he was there in the beginning and this kind of thing happened, but came in week 10, didn't start till week 11. Not to mention he did just fine in week 11. Defense didn't do their part. So I mean, but like I said, that's just me. Do I think he's done? No. Do I think he's done in Carolina? Yeah. They may say that door is still open, but I don't see him entering in, especially not with Matt Rule being the coach. So that's my thoughts on that. That is true. We still have Miles Hartsfield. Who's starting? Definitely, you definitely got to have J.C. Horn and Dante as your number ones and number twos. I mean, still got Keith Taylor. Keith Taylor showed some flashes. I'm not too big into Rashawn Melvin personally, but that's just me. But I think definitely CJ Henderson would need to really break out. I think it's definitely time for CJ Henderson to show up, or he might end up potentially being a bust. Unfortunately, as much as I hate to say that with all that he's been through, I think this season has got to be the season where CJ Henderson shows up. He's got to show up. I definitely believe that needs to happen. Keith Taylor's nice. I agree. And I hope that he'll continue to evolve. Ernest Capu, good to see you. NFL schedule release 3-day. Yeah, May 12th. It's right around the corner. Mamba also said, no, I'm saying Cam to develop Matt Corral. Could be a good mentor. Could definitely be a good mentor. At least in that sense. Potentially bridge quarterback. But I don't know. Like, let's go back to this quarterback discussion. Because like I said, I keep hearing Baker Mayfield is still a possibility. I don't know how or why, but apparently Baker Mayfield is still a possibility, even despite drafting Matt Corral. So it really makes me wonder, because let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. Are y'all really confident in Sam Darnold being able to finally have a great year with the adjustments, with the coaching staff, change of offensive coordinator, a beefed up O-line? I mean, you have to ask yourselves, are y'all confident that Sam Darnold can legit, with all these changes, actually produce? Now, maybe I missed something, but from what I hear of a lot of the keep pounding Panthers Nation, a big percentage of that is a big fat no. Sir Hen AB says, I got a feeling that Sam Darnold is going to have a good year. I mean, I hope he does. But I don't know. I can definitely understand people hesitating and people feeling otherwise. I can understand. Can definitely understand. I mean, 2 back-to-back seasons with 2 different teams, only throwing for 9 touchdowns. I mean, it's not normal. It's not normal. I mean, because you also have to factor in, what's this going to do with Matt Rule? If some way, somehow, we don't get enough wins, especially enough wins to make it into the playoffs. Because like I said, I think that's how Matt Rule keeps his job. We have to make the playoffs. He's going to put Carolina in a tough situation. Yeah, very, very possible. Very possible. might be likely. I hope not, but Sir Hen B, you're onto something. You're definitely onto something. Mamba says, I don't think Darnold is going to have a good year, but with the team around him, they can probably get 7 to 8 wins. But, I mean, even if that happens, I mean, is that really that much of an improvement, though? Is that really that much of an improvement? Personally, I don't think it's that much of an improvement. Because Corral not ready and this O-line is top 10. Well, I'm very excited to see what he does in preseason. I can't wait to see what Matt Corral can do in preseason. Get him some reps, and hopefully he'll get a chance to play with the ones, even in preseason. I hope he gets a chance to play with some of the ones. Because I really want to see what he can do, especially with his overall decision making. Mamba says, I think so. What record would you consider an improvement? At least 10 wins. At least 10 wins. I'm sorry. 7 or 8, not good enough. And specifically for Matt Rule, playoffs has to happen. Hadn't been there since 2017. It's 2022. I'm just saying. It just says something in the end where we're making these improvements. Little by little, we're making these improvements. And if we're yielding only but a 2 to 3 win difference, I mean, I'm not saying that Carolina is going to have a top 10 offense, but with what we had last season, plus beefing up the O-line for this upcoming season, our offensive rank better be much higher this season than it was last season. That's for sure. There is no reason why our offense shouldn't jump up 10 spots. Overall offense shouldn't jump up 10 spots with the improvements made this offseason compared to what took place last season. There is no reason why this offense can't jump up 10 spots in the rankings. No reason. But I know that one of the big things is, okay, totally understand Matt Corral, sitting, evolving, growing, watching. But we have to ask ourselves, is Sam Darnold really somebody that he can learn from? I mean, I understand a lot of people, don't want to entertain the idea of Cam. I get it. I understand. But you have to at least admit, I'm pretty sure Matt Corral could learn a whole lot more from Cam than he could from Sam Darnold. Can we at least admit that? Can we at least admit that? I'm just saying. If we can get 7 or 8 wins, they will give him another year. If we get 7 or 8 wins and they give him another year, I'll be very shocked. Vietnam, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How to read defenses? Sure. Corral could learn that from Sam. But Cam couldn't teach him that because he was never good at it. Now, he was good enough to win an MVP. Come on now. He was good enough to win an MVP. That corral has Matt Rule and Sam Darnold. He is gonna need somebody, whether it's Foles or Newton. He could really use some help. Fayette from rushing touchdowns and a number one. He threw 35 touchdowns. He threw 35 touchdown passes. Come on now, Fayette. Come on now, Fayette. He contributed to that season. He threw for 35 touchdowns. Come on now. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. And let's be realistic. And Tom Brady threw 40. Okay. The team went 15-1 all the way to the Super Bowl. You honestly don't feel that he deserved that MVP, especially being named number one out of 100 by his peers? Come on now. I don't even like Tom Brady, and I can respect what he's done. I don't even like Tom Brady, and I can respect what he's done. No, it was not just our defense. We were a complete football team. I'm not gonna. I can't agree with that. The guy threw 35 touchdowns. Cam Newton had a good year. Now, I'm not saying he was the entire reason. Of course, he wasn't the entire reason, but I'm not gonna sit there and act like he wasn't a big factor. If he wasn't a big factor, he wouldn't have won MVP. If he wasn't a big factor, he wouldn't have won MVP. The defense was excellent. I highly agree. Defense was excellent. And let's also remember the weapons that Cam had that year. Because our best receiver was out for the season. He didn't win it in a landslide, but he still won it. Best season that Carolina's had in franchise history. I mean, no Kelvin Benjamin, had to rely on Jericho Cotchery, Ted Ginn Jr., one of our main deep threats, Philly Brown. His best consistent target was Greg Olsen. I mean, I'm just calling it like it is. Did he take a beating over the years? Oh, absolutely. He definitely took a beating over the years. I mean, what was the defense known for, Fayette? Thieves Avenue. Thieves Avenue was born that year. Absolutely. Thieves Avenue was definitely born that year. No doubt about that. And it even showed in the Super Bowl. Because Peyton Manning did not have a good game in that Super Bowl. He didn't have a good game. Not to mention, we got to also look at who we've had since Cam Newton. I feel like the two best quarterbacks we've had since Cam Newton have been Kyle Allen and Teddy Bridgewater. That says something. That says something. The refs were so pitiful in both of the Broncos games. Yeah, but man, Cam took a beating in those games. It was crazy. But I think the only thing that I've really liked out of Sam Darnold, he's shown, Sam Darnold has at least shown that he can be somewhat of a red zone threat because he can run a QB draw or two and score. I will give him that. Not anything compared to Cam Newton when it came to rushing, but he's got a little scramble on him. I like Kyle. Didn't care too much for Teddy. Teddy, the only thing I really didn't like about Teddy Bridgewater, I didn't like some of the cadence. Like the changing up the play. I don't know, from calling a sequence to saying, I lied. Like, I don't agree with that cadence. I really don't agree with that cadence. I don't agree with that cadence. But Cam definitely hadn't looked the same since taking that hit in the Pittsburgh game. I will agree on that. Definitely hadn't been the same. Because really what we saw were a few flashes last year of what Cam can still do. But of course, still only had 5 wins. But when I look at it, though, I know some are okay with just ride or die Sam Darnold for this season and hopes that he can bounce back. Or, okay, maybe not really bounce back because he really hasn't had a great year yet, but could potentially break out and have a great year. But then here's the kicker. Let's say Sam Darnold does have a great year and lights it up. Do you pay him? Do you extend him? Do you give him a bigger salary? Now, I know some are kind of hoping that he fails. I mean, it is what it is. They have the right to feel that way. But if Sam balls out this year, I'm gonna lose my mind. I would trade him. Well, because to be honest with you, it's almost kind of similar to if we did good enough to make the playoffs, does Matt Rule deserve to keep his job? Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's look at it that way. They get enough wins to make to the playoffs. Does Matt Rule deserve to keep his job? Versus if Sam Darnold lights it up and heavily contributes to that playoff run, appearance, whatnot, does he deserve an extension? Because, I mean, we also got to look at it in a sense. similar to Ron Rivera. He got it right. Third time was the charm. And he got extended. He got to stay. So, I mean, I know this would be Sam Darnold's second season with Carolina. You know, he's already got one in the books and 3 with the Jets. Sam's still young, you know, only 24. I mean, only thing I'm saying is it really a good look for whether it's a player or a coach that does well for them to just be let go, cut, traded? I mean, is that really a good look? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if Sam Darnold, by some shade of a miracle or whatnot, balls out and he doesn't get extended or gets cut or traded or whatnot, it's not going to be a good look. It's not going to be a good look. And I say that not really being a fan of Sam Darnold, but I mean, you earn what you get, right? And it's like, you know, if he balls out, I mean, does he earn the right to stay? Ron Rivera did it. Fan Nom says you would let Matt Rule stay. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. And don't get me wrong. I know a lot of folks believe Sam Darnold's going to be a bust. I get it. I totally get it. Definitely not everyone's favorite. That's for sure. There are some hopeful. I'm just under the impression that when they picked up his 5th-year option, they were set to ride it out with him. You know? Joe Valesco says, should the Panthers sign Nick Foles or Cam Newton and cut PJ Walker? I would think that if either of those two got signed, then yeah, probably PJ Walker probably would get cut. But I don't know. That's a good question. But one of the things I definitely expect this team's offensive rank to jump up at least 10 spots. I think they are very capable of jumping up 10 spots compared to their overall offensive rank last season. Because if that doesn't, okay, here's a question. If we stink it up the first 3 games, regardless of who we're playing against, if we stink it up the first 3 games, specifically Sam Darnold, do you call Matt Corral's number? There's a question for y'all. If Carolina stinks it up the first 3 games of the season, whatever they may be, and Sam Darnold just bombs, do you see them calling on Matt Corral? Joe Valesco says yes. Okay, that's one. And anybody else? First 3 games, they just bomb. Sam Darnold bombs. Do you call on the presence of Matt Corral to attempt to take over? Something to think about. Something to think about. Which could happen. It could happen. I hope not, because regardless of who's on my team, I want them to be successful. But if it doesn't happen, then gotta make some changes. Mamba says, yes, I honestly think Matt Corral will beat Sam Darnold in practice, but Rule will start Sam anyway. Okay. So you believe he'll be capable of earning the starting position right off the bat from how he does in practice. Okay. Could happen. It could happen. But I think you're right, though. I think Matt Rule is going to start Sam anyways. But one thing I do hope to see from Sam is just more passion. Say what you want about Cam Newton, but that was a passionate dude. And we have yet to see that from Sam Darnold. So I really hope Sam can really get more passionate, get hungry. You know what I mean? Because honestly, if I'm in Sam Darnold's position, I'm like, I'm fighting to keep my job, and I need to act like I want to be here, and that I still have something strong to give. If I'm Sam Darnold, because Matt Corral is in a position where he could eventually ASAP end up taking his spot. And with Sam Darnold bombing is only going to make that path easier for Matt Corral to take. Now, I'm hoping that it's really going to come down to Sam's decision making, especially with the beefed up O-line. They can consistently protect him. It's just going to come down to his decision making. A healthy Christian McCaffrey would be big. A healthy Christian McCaffrey to the point where he makes it through a season would be a big, huge turnaround for him. Big, huge turnaround. But yeah. And apparently Robbie Anderson is changing his jersey number from number 11 to number 3. Why 3? I don't know. Why 3? Interesting. But yeah, it's changing it from 11 to 3. Why? I don't know. But let's talk a little bit about James Bradberry. James Bradberry got released from the Giants. They wanted to save a little money. They weren't able to trade him, weren't able to find a trade partner. But they saved $10.1 million against the salary cap by releasing him. Now, of course, he was in the Pro Bowl with the Giants during his time there. And James Bradberry's only 28. He's 28 years of age. Honestly, had a pretty decent season. 37 solo tackles, 4 interceptions, 17 passes deflected. He had a pretty decent season. Played in all 17 games. Shoot. As a matter of fact, that's his career high for interceptions last season, 4 with the Giants. So I mean, hey, I think it really depends on how much he would cost. It would depend on how much he would cost, but shoot. A James Bradberry return, I would entertain it. Shoot. I would entertain it. Corral and Darnold are polar opposites when it comes to personality. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. And I don't even know that much about Matt Corral, but I believe it. Joe Valesco says, I believe the Panthers are signing a quarterback, either Nick Foles or Cam Newton. Whoever wins the quarterback competition, Matt Corral going to be quarterback number 2. I do wonder is there even anybody trying to make a play for Nick Foles? Ooh, let's look at a little bit at Cat's Crave. 5 biggest Carolina Panthers concerns after the draft. Ooh, I'm actually kind of curious. Let's see. Concern number 1: who will start at left guard for the Carolina Panthers? You know what? Let's discuss. I'm kind of making this now more of an open discussion. So this was listed as a concern. Who will start at left guard for the Carolina Panthers? I mean, you got folks like Brady Christensen, Michael Jordan, Deontay Brown. I mean, Pat Elflein, who has some guard and center experience. There's even talks about the idea of Ike Ekwonu at left guard, which he can play. He can play left guard and left tackle. But I strongly believe that they're pretty much sold on Icky being their left tackle, unless I missed something. But I mean, it's an intriguing. I don't think it's a bad problem. I think it's a good problem because I think you can really. I think you got some options. I think you definitely have some options at left guard. Because I mean, when you think about it, Brady Christensen, he's another one that can play both. I mean, played some left guard. And of course, he played left tackle in college. So, I mean, I think it's a good problem. It's a concern, but I think it's a good concern because of the idea that they have options. And I think there are good options, especially with the O-line beefed up like it is. It's just a matter of figuring out the best option that gives you the maximized strength. Because there's going to be some that's going to give you great amount of strength, others a little bit more strength than the other, but you want to maximize your offensive line to the fullest as much as possible. And I think that's what this concern really means. And like I said, I think they'll figure it out. I think they will. But I think it's a good problem to have. I think it's a good problem to have and something that they can really take their time in addressing. Concern number 2. Do the Panthers have enough pass rush depth? That's a good question. That is actually a really good question. Like I said, adding a Jadeveon Clowney, I think would really help. another veteran presence on that D-line on the edge, and a healthy Jadeveon Clowney can do some damage. Mamba says you really could not go wrong either way, but with their run blocking type vision, they should have Brady at left tackle and Icky at left guard. And that's a fair point, Mamba. That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Because it looks like, from what has been said, the way the O-line has been built and acquired is to be run first and perhaps heavy on the run, especially with the idea of adding a power back such as Deontay Foreman, which they did. So you make a good point, Mamba. You make a very good point. So with pass rushing depth, I mean, they've done well. I mean, YGM, Marquise Haynes, Amare Barno. You know, they picked up the 5th-year option on Brian Burns. I think adding another edge, getting like a Jadeveon Clowney, I think would pretty much seal the edge. I think that could pretty much seal the edge. Because you got Brian Burns, you got Jadeveon Clowney, and you got a lot of depth with Marquise Haynes, YGM, Amare Barno. I think that's good depth. I think that's really good depth. So I think getting another edge could benefit. Unless they want to stack the inside a little bit more and add on to that. I mean, on the insides, let's see. D-line on the inside. Derek Brown, I believe Matt Ioannidis. Still got Bravion Roy. Still got Davion Nixon. Phil Hoskins played a little bit last year near the end. I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think? If they were to add on to this D-line, you think they should add another edge rusher or add another inside guy to help bolster the D-line? Because that actually has me thinking. You know, do you add another name on the interior D-line, or do you get another premier edge rusher? Something to think about. Mamba says inside guy for sure. Oh, yeah. Because I mean, for depth, we got a lot of young talent for depth on that interior D line. Because I think out of that interior D line, Matt Ioannidis might be the most experienced on that interior. So I mean, hey. And part of me is kind of why I would entertain the idea of bringing back Star Lotulelei. I would entertain that, especially with help on stopping the run. You know, Star, not somebody that's going to get a lot of sacks, but somebody that's going to clog up the lanes and help stop the run for sure. Because Star is not a sack guy. He's not a sack guy. So that's just something to keep in mind. He's not really a sack guy. But struggles with stopping the run were very much present last season. So something to think about. Let's look at the next concern. Concern number 3. Do the Panthers need another safety? Do the Panthers need another safety? I mean, we picked up Xavier Woods. We still got Jeremy Chin. We did re-sign Justin Burris and Sean Chandler. And Miles Hartsfield does have some experience playing safety. I mean, at one point a long time ago, I wouldn't have mind having Ha Clinton Dix, but that's just me. But I don't know. Do y'all think Carolina needs another safety? Because I know there was quite some talks about another safety and moving Jeremy Chin back into nickel, where he was very successful with. Was pretty much in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I heard that. Joe Velasco says, "What about Melvin Ingram?" Oh, you mean at linebacker? He's a North Carolinian. Mamba says, "I would have loved Jordan Whitehead. Seems like a Wilkes type of guy. Linebacker or pass rusher." Oh yeah. Wait, but didn't he place him on a? I don't think he's available because the Chiefs put a unrestricted free agent tender on him worth 4.4 million. Or wait. But yeah, he's with the Chiefs. He's with the Chiefs though. So I don't know. I don't know if he can even be acquired. What would be nice to have though? I mean, 3-time Pro Bowler, 51 plus sacks in his career. It's a sack machine, that's for sure. So I mean, I wouldn't be against it. Oh, he was with the Chiefs last year? Oh, yeah, you're right. Was traded in November. Oh, okay. You know what? Let me see his stats. Let me see how he did last year. I'm curious. 12 solo tackles, a forced fumble, 2 sacks. Oh, he didn't play. He didn't play that many games. Only played 9 games. Played 9 games with the Chiefs, 6 with the Steelers. Oh, okay. Played 6 with the Steelers. Had a sack, 10 total tackles. Okay, fair enough. So I mean, kind of split his time last season. Split his time. Vietnam says Sam has got to show that dog in him. Yeah, especially after not only him saying on that podcast that he was a very good quarterback, but then, David Tepper says he's a very good quarterback. So, way I see it, all eyes on him. All eyes on him. And then Mamba mentioned Jordan Whitehead. Went tackle crazy last season. Put up 58 tackles, a forced fumble, 2 interceptions. But it looks like the Jets got him though. Yeah, it looks like the Jets. Yeah, the Jets got him. So, but dang, he was a tackling machine last season. Goodness gracious. I can see what you mean, Mamba. I can see what you mean. But That's very interesting to see what they may consider at safety, if that's something that they may address. I can understand. I could understand why safety would be another concern. I can definitely understand. Definitely understand. Joe Valesco says, should the Panthers sign a veteran cornerback? Well, I would have loved to have gotten Stephon Gilmore, but that's not happening. But I would entertain the idea of bringing back James Bradberry. Why not? I mean, the dude was a Pro Bowler and got a career high 4 interceptions last season with the Giants. I would totally entertain the idea of bringing back James Bradberry. But then the issue comes with, how does that affect the starting lineup? Because remember, you got a returning J.C. Horn. How about Mr. 24, Josh Norman? No. Josh Norman is not the same anymore. Mm-mm. I like Josh Norman, but he's not the same. Not the same as he once was. He has been on a pretty big decline. Joe Valesco. He's been on a decline. And he's kind of been hit with injuries as well. I feel like he hasn't been the same. He was once like, I feel like if we got the Josh Norman from when he was with Buffalo, then I would consider that. And while he did okay with San Fran, he just hasn't been the same. If we had the Josh Norman from when he was with Buffalo, or even when he was with Carolina, his last stints in Carolina, then yeah, I would consider that. But I just don't feel like I don't think he's still quite got it like he used to. I mean, you gotta remember when he was with Buffalo, he had 7. What? I'm sorry. When he was with, although he did have 7 forced fumbles with San Fran, so that's a nice little something. He did have 7 forced fumbles, but I don't know. Me personally, I would rather take more of a chance on a James Bradberry than I would a Josh Norman. But no, that's a good question. What would y'all entertain the idea of bringing back a Josh Norman? What do y'all think about that? Because don't get me wrong, I like Josh Norman. I do. He was a beast in his last, few years with Carolina, especially the Super Bowl year. Made some clutch interceptions, but that's just me. But let me know what y'all think. Would y'all entertain the idea of Josh Norman? Which, how old is Josh Norman? I'm just curious. I think he's like what, 30, 33? 34. I was close. 34. Dang, he's older than Stephon Gilmore. Josh Norman is like the Steve Smith on the defense. He talks a lot of trash. Yep, that he does. That he does. And he's been able to back it up in his career before. He's been able to back it up somewhat. Mamba says, I would not mind it, but it's really no reason. Yeah. Like, and that's why personally I say, you know, if you got to bring back a veteran cornerback, why not James Bradberry, who just, you know, came off of a four career interception year and was a Pro Bowler for the Giants, you know. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Let's see. Concern number 4. Can the Carolina Panthers tight end room improve? Now, I know some people were a little surprised that we didn't consider getting a tight end in the draft. But honestly, I can definitely see how this is a concern. Tight end. Ian Thomas, Tommy Tremble. And I believe we didn't we get a undrafted free agent tight end? Yes, we did. Josh Peppets, North Dakota State. So could be somebody that is playing for a roster spot. But tight end definitely is an issue, especially if Ben McAdoo is going to be using the tight ends a lot in his offensive play calling in his system. Ian Thomas, like I said, think there's a chance he may miss some games, you know, with the legal stuff going on. Probably not a lot of games, but maybe like 2 to 3, if not less than that. But you have to think about the idea that Ian Thomas may have to serve, you know, a few game suspension or a fine or both. Tommy Tremble, like I said, I like Tommy Tremble. I think he will definitely improve. We've seen flashes of Tommy Tremble. I think that's somebody that can definitely improve. I believe we still have Colin Thompson at tight end. Let me see. And Stephen Sullivan. I mean, there's not really any big names that stand out in our tight end core. Let's just say that. But it could be something that they may want to consider addressing at some point between now and even during the season. But like I said, it's really going to depend on a few things. Like one is going to depend on Ian Thomas, how much time he how much time he'll have to serve suspension wise. And then there's also the whole experience. I mean, right now Ian Thomas is our most experienced tight end on the team. So if Joe Valesco says, if you got a choice to bring somebody back from the 2015 Panthers, who will you bring back? Star Lotulelei, because I think he can still produce. I think he can still produce and help us with stopping the run. So Star Lotulelei, Joe Valesco. Mamba says, Eric Ebron is out there. McAdoo could help revive his career. Oh, is he available? I don't know why I was thinking he retired. Because he's another North Carolinian. Yeah, he's another North Carolinian. or at least he played with North Carolina, but he wasn't born there. Yeah, is he? Looks like he's with the Steelers. Is he still with the Steelers? Looks like he's still with the Steelers, unless he got let go. I know he would be coming off a injury because he only played 8 games last year. Yeah, he only played 8 games last year. So I don't know. Maybe he can bounce back. Perhaps. Definitely a lot of experience with Eric Ebron for sure. Joe Valesco says, or we can bring in Mason Rudolph. No. Mason Rudolph? Seriously? No. That I really don't see as a move to help better the team. Mason Rudolph? Really? No. No. Mason Rudolph as a backup? Perhaps. I don't know, but Mason Rudolph to take over? Heck no. Mamba says Eric signed a 2-year deal with the Steelers in 2020 and they never re-signed him. So his time expired. I see. Well, shoot. I mean, that would be nice. That would be a nice piece of experience to add to the tight ends for Carolina. Let me see who's actually available along with Ebron. Let's see. Tight end. Let's take a look. Available. I mean, Kyle Rudolph, Eric Ebron, Jimmy Graham. I don't think Jimmy Graham's really the same anymore. Gronk is going to be expensive, and he's not even sure if he's even going to still keep playing. Jesse James. I would entertain Jesse James. Yeah, I might entertain Jesse James. But honestly, Eric Ebron may be a good pick. Oh, Joe, you meant Kyle Rudolph. Oh, okay. I thought you meant Mason, the quarterback. Okay, so you meant Kyle Rudolph. Yeah. Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, I think Kyle Rudolph, Eric Ebron, Jesse James, I would consider those 3. Because like I said, Rob Gronkowski would be expensive and he's not even sure he even wants to keep playing. And Jimmy Graham, I just don't think Jimmy Graham's the same anymore, personally. But yeah, Kyle Rudolph, Eric Ebron, sure. I just hope Eric Ebron would be able to bounce back from injury. That would be the big thing for me. Is is he able to bounce back from injury? Now, you good, Joel. You good. You good. I got you. Ooh. So, ladies and gentlemen, the fifth concern, have the Carolina Panthers done enough at quarterback? Well, there you go. That's the last concern. Have the Panthers done enough at the most important position on the field? And that's got to say something, y'all. Because remember, a lot of folks keep pounding nation, Carolina Panthers nation. Number one, wanted us to draft a quarterback. We did, Matt Corral. And yet, we picked up the fifth-year option of Sam Darnold. We brought back P.J. Walker. And yet, there's still discussion about quarterback. That says something, y'all. That says something. Joe Velasco says, I don't think so. And he may be right. He may be right. But there's a reason that the idea of bringing in another quarterback is still out in the open for the Carolina Panthers. I mean, this isn't so much whether it's Baker Mayfield or Cam Newton, Nick Foles, whoever. The fact that it's still in the discussion says something. Not only that, but even the idea of looking at the quarterback class in the 2023 draft. That says something. That honestly, out of the five concerns, that's probably the biggest one. Probably definitely the biggest one. Like I said, the concern about left guard, that's a good concern to have, and that's not problematic. Depth at pass rush, I think it's a minor issue, a minor concern. Need for another safety, I feel like potentially a minor concern. Tight ends, I think could be a major concern. And then, quarterback, definitely a major concern. So, I mean, and right now, apparently rumor is the Browns are closing in on bringing back Jadeveon Clowney. But the Panthers are still another team that expressed interest. And then I'm hearing rumors that the Panthers haven't completely shut the door on Baker Mayfield, but they're not in a rush. They're not in a rush. And maybe this is their way of giving it time to see if Sam Darnold could legit bounce back. Because at the same time, we have to remember they picked up his fifth-year option, that $18 million fifth-year option. I mean, they got to pay him anyway. So, Joe Velasco says, I think the Panthers made the right choice taking Matt Corral. My only concern is Sam Darnold. Can he teach Matt Corral? That's why I'm saying bring in a more experienced quarterback. And that's a fair concern. That's a very fair concern. That's a very fair concern. And at the same time, you have to look at what quarterbacks out there could be that mentor that could teach Matt Corral. If there's absolutely no confidence in Sam Darnold being able to do that, then you're going to have to think about a Nick Foles. You're going to have to think about a Cam Newton, a Jimmy Garoppolo, a Baker Mayfield. All those quarterbacks who have played in the playoffs, who have won playoff games. Something that Sam Darnold has yet to do. So, I know there's a lot to say about, I know there's a lot that folks will say about, Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield, Cam Newton, and such negative. But I think we have to admit that all four of those guys would definitely have something positive, a lot more positive to give to Matt Corral than Sam Darnold. Wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you think? Foles, Newton, Mayfield, Garoppolo versus Darnold? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Putting our overall opinions aside, like it's something to really look at. Because right now you look at this list of quarterbacks, free agent quarterbacks: Kurt Benkert, Chris Streveler, Josh Rosen, A.J. McCarron, Mike Glennon, Cam Newton, Nick Foles, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Honestly, tell me out of that list who you would seriously take a chance on. If it had to be a quarterback from that list, which these are free agents, who would you take a chance on to be that bridge quarterback, potential bridge quarterback? So Robby Anderson changed his number. Yes, it's going to be number 3. It's going to be number 3. Changing it from 11 to 3. That is correct. From 11 to 3. But yeah, that's something to think about when it comes to the whole quarterback discussion. If we're talking about a bridge quarterback and somebody that can mentor, that can be a positive impact for Matt Corral. Because from what I'm hearing, there's not really any confidence that Sam Darnold can do that. Joe Valesco says, I will take Nick Foles or Cam Newton. And heck, Nick Foles has even freaking won a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. Cam Newton's been there. Nick Foles has actually won a Super Bowl. Actually played and won the Super Bowl. Even caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So, and maybe, just maybe Nick Foles might be maybe the safest. But my thing is, he's only played one game for the Bears. (24 35). Yeah, last season played one game for the Bears. Hey, what's up, James Aaron? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. He played one game for the Bears last season. It's 24 of 35 for 250 and a touchdown. I mean, maybe Nick Foles is the safest. Maybe he's the safest pick to consider bringing in. You know, definitely would not consider Ryan Fitzpatrick. Heck no. No. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been on more teams than I can count on my hands. How many teams has he played on? Holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's played on 9 teams in the NFL. This dude has played on 9 teams in the NFL. Him coming to Carolina, that would make team number 10. That would make team number 10. He'd probably end up setting the record for playing on the most teams in the National Football League. I think him playing on that many teams alone should land him a spot in the Hall of Fame. Shoot. Oh man, that's funny. Have you heard about RG3 wanting to make a comeback? Yes and no. Nope. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if folks are willing to give RG3 an opportunity to come back, but not Colin Kaepernick, that's very hypocritical. That's very hypocritical. I'm gonna just call it like it is. If somebody's willing to give him a shot, no. I'm sorry. I don't care if he recently played a little bit in 2020. If he's able to get a shot but not Colin Kaepernick, that's pretty freaking messed up. But would I give him a shot? Nope. Nope. Not to mention, Colin Kaepernick's the better quarterback. Let's not even kid ourselves. Even with RG3 playing more. Come on now. Definitely Colin Kaepernick's the better quarterback. There's no comparison. It's because RG3 run the 40-yard dash. Okay. I mean, okay. Still, he's not a better quarterback than Colin Kaepernick. I can tell you that right now. He's not a better quarterback than Colin Kaepernick. Now, somebody on Twitter made this claim. I understand Panthers fans wanting James Bradberry to return, but there are big needs on the roster right now. Corner is not one of them. I would agree that it's definitely not as big as, say, middle linebacker or tight end, or, looking more at the D line. So I would agree with that. Most definitely, I would agree with that. Another Cat Crave article. 5 veteran free agents to boost the Carolina Panthers pass rush. Ooh, let's see. Number 1, Jadeveon Clowney. Yes, please. Number 2, Takaris McKinley. I don't even know that dude. Anybody know that dude, Takaris McKinley? I don't even know that dude. Jerry Hughes. Jerry Hughes could probably work. Melvin Ingram. Somebody mentioned Melvin Ingram. I think it was Joe Valesco. Yeah, it was Joe Valesco. Yeah, Melvin Ingram. That's on this list. And Benson Mayowa. Benson Mayowa. Well, I only know a few of those names, but Jadeveon Clowney would be number 1 for me. I would totally Jadeveon Clowney. I'd be sold on him. Most definitely would be sold on him. But if anything, he moved back to linebacker. Who in particular? James Aaron says, I'd take Colin over RG3 because Colin stayed healthy and had better numbers. Facts. Jadeveon Clowney. Oh, gotcha. I wouldn't put him personally. I'd keep him at defensive end personally. I would keep him at defensive end. Think the main thing for Jadeveon Clowney is just staying healthy. That's really my main thing with him is just staying healthy. And hey, I mean, had a great year. Played in 14 games last year. Had 9 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. So I mean, hey. But I think Cleveland is trying to is trying to bring him back. So we may be some competition there for Carolina. Carolina has expressed interest, but I don't know. Jadeveon maybe depending on what they pay him, he might be returning to Cleveland, maybe staying in Cleveland. So hopefully we can get a good bid and get Jadeveon Clowney. I would love that. I would really love that. Personally, I would go after him more so than I would go after James Bradberry. Thank you for following me on Twitter. Yeah, no problem. I was looking back through my list and I saw that you were on there and I was like, wait a minute, I don't follow him, so I had to make sure I gave you a follow back. So yeah, no problem. But yeah, I would zone in on bringing in Jadeveon Clowney before James Bradberry. Although, I wouldn't be against James Bradberry as well. James Bradberry, he's great. He's a number one for sure. I just don't know if I feel like he would be more of a luxury than a need, personally. Because, even though we didn't bring back Stephon Gilmore, we did re-sign Dante Jackson, who is a veteran. So, at least there's that. But if anything, I can't wait to see these guys work. I can't wait to see these guys go to work. I'm excited. See how things go with training camps, OTAs, stuff like that. But like I said, I'm really going to be looking at a few names that I'm hopeful these names will break out. There's a bunch of them on offense. I'm hoping that Sam Darnold can. I'm really hoping that Sam Darnold can. Because I feel like this is pretty much going to be Sam Darnold's last chance to break out with Carolina, being that, he's on this 5th-year option. And if it doesn't work out, he's out of here. So Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey, I hope that this can be a bounce back season for him and he can stay healthy. They're going to need to make some adjustments with his usage. I think that's going to help with that. But if Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy and make it through the season, that's even more incentive to keep him around. So Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey, Terrace Marshall Jr. Now, I'm confident that DJ Moore will be fine. I'm even confident that Robby Anderson can bounce back. After all, he put up 1,000 with Teddy Bridgewater. So I think he's very capable of bouncing back. Joe Velasco says, if we don't get Jadeveon Clowney, try to get Melvin Ingram. Not a bad backup idea. Not a bad backup plan. But we'll see, because like I said, I think they had noted that he's signed a unrestricted free agent tender or something like that with the Chiefs. But we'll see. We'll see. But Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey, Terrace Marshall Jr. Like I said, I think Robby Anderson will bounce back. Tommy Tremble. I'm hoping Tommy Tremble can evolve and get better. at the tight end position and become a reliable weapon. I definitely hope that he'll become a reliable weapon. And the entire offensive line as a whole. I hope everybody on that O-line gels together. I'm not gonna point out anybody specific on that O-line. I want the whole O-line to gel. I want the whole O-line to gel. So those are the big names that I'm going to have my eyes on with the offense the most. Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey, Tommy Tremble, Terrace Marshall Jr., and the entire O-line. Joe Velasco says, have you heard what Antonio Brown said about Colin Kaepernick? No. What did he say? What did he say about him? But those are my main five for the offense. For the defense, couple of folks. One, J.C. Horn. I'm going to have so many eyes on J.C. Horn because I expect J.C. Horn to have a sophomore season like no other. I think I expect him to bounce back in a huge way. We got a little taste. We got a little taste of him at the beginning of the year. Joe Velasco said he's garbage. He doesn't want to play no more. Antonio Brown said that? Well, Antonio Brown, after what he pulled, he's not really somebody I would really take seriously. Yeah, he's not really somebody I would really like him. For him to say something like that, it's like, maybe you should focus on your own issues. I'm just saying. And it's sad with Antonio Brown because the dude won a Super Bowl not too long ago. He won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. Won a Super Bowl. So I mean, he might want to focus on his own issues. And it's sad because the dude is a great player. He's an excellent wide receiver. Definitely one of the best in the league. One of the best. But he got to get his head straight. He got to get his head straight. Maybe at some point. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever return or not, if he'll ever be able to return, but he needs to get his head straight. He needs to get his head straight. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, defense. So for defense, J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson, those are two main defensive backs that I'm going to have my eyes on. J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson. Because on the defense, this is do or die for C.J. Henderson. Like if he can't evolve and break out, then there's really no point in keeping him. So I think this upcoming season, this has to be the year for C.J. Henderson. He's gotta be on point. Whoever steps up to be that middle linebacker, I'm definitely going to have my eyes on. I can't really pick a name, but whoever ends up stepping in to be that middle linebacker, I'm going to have my eyes on. Joe Velasco said, and he also said, we don't feel sorry for you. Oh, towards Colin Kaepernick. I mean, like I said, Antonio Brown might want to work on his own issues, because with the stunt he pulled, he can't really say anything with the stunt and mess he pulled. Let me see. So J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson, whoever is going to step in and be that middle linebacker, going to have my eyes on. The defensive line as a whole. Definitely hoping that D-line can not only get good pressure, but stop the run. Stop the run has got to be a major goal with this D-line. He also said, get the F out of here. Yep, sounds like Antonio Brown for sure. Definitely sounds like Antonio Brown. Honestly, those are probably my four main points for the defense. J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson, the middle linebacker spot, and the D-line. Special teams. I know we've had a few issues with special teams, but honestly, I don't think there will be much of an issue going into next season. Got a star punter. We got a new consistent kicker in Zane Gonzalez, who definitely earned the right to stay. We picked up Andre Roberts, so we got a return specialist. And like I said, Chuba Hubbard. And maybe somebody will break out of the roster and be another return specialist. I mean, maybe a CJ Saunders. Maybe one of the undrafted wide receivers that they're going to be taking a look at. But, I'm not really too concerned with special teams, to be honest with you. I mean, it's important, don't get me wrong. But I think with what they've done to, better enhance special teams, I mean, return specialist was one thing that Scott Fitterer pointed out, and they went out and got Andre Roberts. So, good move there. Like I said, we got our punter, we got our kicker. Good combo. So, I mean, hey, I think special teams is pretty much set. And like I said, with defense, as far as any other additions, like I said, middle linebacker or D lineman, I think one of those two should be something to think of. And on offense, I mean, like I said, still up in the air about quarterback. And who knows, maybe want to consider maybe a tight end, perhaps. But that's what I'm thinking. Overall, that's what I'm thinking. But I definitely expect the offensive rank overall to increase greatly from what it was last season. If that doesn't happen, then that's a real problem. but we'll see what happens. But anyway, that'll do it for tonight's live stream. Let's see. May 12th, like I said, is when the schedule releases. That's Thursday. So I'll probably end up doing a live stream for that instead of VF Arena, just because I want to really get everybody's thoughts, and we kind of go in together on the schedule and get a better idea of what we're going up against. We know the opponents, but we just need to learn the order. And let's see if we actually get some primetime games. If I remember correctly, Carolina hasn't had a Monday nighter or a Sunday nighter in a while. I think in like 2 seasons or something like that. So it'd be nice to see if the Panthers can get a Monday nighter or a Sunday nighter. I mean, we've gotten Thursday nighters like all the time, but I hope we can get a Monday nighter or a Sunday nighter. At least one or the other. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. But anyway, that'll do it for this live stream. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for coming through, spending time, chatting it up with me. Sharing your thoughts on the topics tonight. But yeah, we're right around the corner from the official schedule release. We'll wait and see what happens if they make any other moves, whether it be quarterback or just in general. We'll wait and see. But no matter what, keep pounding. Let's get hyped. Let's get excited. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. Be confident. Be confident. Stay focused. Stay positive. All righty? Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. This has been another Carolina Panthers Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. I hope everybody has a good night and a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all very soon. Take care. Peace out.